Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures where humanity always rises. Humanity always believed that if something dangerous ever came from space, Earth would see it coming. But no one saw the first attack. It happened quietly, without any warning, without any message, and without any chance to prepare. On a cold night, when most humans were sleeping, something entered the sky like a falling star. At first, people thought it was a meteor. Children pointed at the sky, taking videos on their phones. Scientists noticed unusual radiation, but they had no idea what was coming next. Within seconds, bright explosions filled the night, and something destroyed the first defense satellites. Military radars went blind. The entire world was shocked. This was not a natural event. Someone was attacking Earth. Panic started everywhere. News channels reported strange objects above several major cities. Huge dark ships were floating silently like giant shadows. They were nothing like Earth technology. People screamed and ran through streets. Governments tried to establish control, but communication systems became unstable. Every major capital felt the presence of unknown enemies. The objects did not communicate. They did not ask for surrender. They simply attacked. In the first hour, more than 10 million people died. Entire cities burned under strange blue fire. It was not like human weapons. It cut through buildings as if everything was made of paper. Earth fighters tried to engage, but their missiles did nothing. The alien ships moved without sound and without fear. They were not here to conquer. They were here to remove. The United Nations Emergency Council met underground and demanded answers from every space agency. Who were they? Why attack Earth? But no one knew anything. These attackers never appeared in any known signal records. It was like they came from nowhere. The president of Earth Defense Alliance gave an emergency announcement telling people to stay calm and move to underground shelters. But every shelter was already flooded with crying families, old people, and children holding each other in fear. When more alien ships entered the atmosphere, people finally understood that the enemy was not small. They were countless. They were everywhere. World militaries launched nuclear missiles in desperation, not to win, but to survive a little longer. The nuclear weapons did not even reach the targets. The alien ships absorbed the explosions like dust. Humanity realized their greatest weapons meant nothing. Every major military power collapsed in only 3 hours. The skies above Earth turned red, burning with smoke and broken satellites falling like pieces of glass. Children watched cities disappear. Parents tried to hide their kids from windows. Airplanes fell from the sky one by one. The internet went silent. Electricity vanished in many countries. Hospitals lost power while people begged for help. Soldiers tried to defend cities using old weapons, but they were only delaying the inevitable. Many humans believed this was the end of everything. Inside a bunker near Washington, world scientists tried to understand the alien energy signatures, but every reading was beyond human science. The enemy was using technology thousands of years ahead. Some scientists whispered maybe these attackers were not even interested in humans at all. Maybe they were looking for something else. Something older. Something hidden. After 6 hours of endless destruction, something broke inside Earth. Not physically, but something awakened. Deep under the Pacific, seismographs detected a powerful unknown signal. At first, scientists thought it was an earthquake, but then they realized the signal was controlled. Something ancient beneath Earth was turning on, as if answering a call. The alien ships suddenly changed behavior. They started scanning the oceans, ignoring cities. They moved like predators searching for prey. Suddenly the ocean floor started shaking. Underwater volcanoes reacted in strange patterns. And then an energy pulse spread through the entire planet. It was not an explosion. It was like Earth itself was breathing after a long sleep. The attackers tried to jam the signal, but they failed. Something under Earth was much stronger than anything they brought. Every sensor system on alien ships turned white, unable to understand this new energy. One moment, the attackers were confident. Next moment they were confused. Their ships began shaking. Their weapons turned off as if someone stole their power. Then, every alien ship made a sudden retreat, moving away from the oceans. Humanity did not celebrate because they did not understand what had just happened. But one thing was suddenly clear: Earth was not empty. Earth was not defenseless. Earth had something the galaxy feared. Survivors looked up at the sky, broken and terrified, but still alive. Everyone asked the same question. If Earth had a hidden defense, why did it wait until the world almost died? And if something woke up, what exactly woke up? Humanity did not know they had just activated something older than every alien empire. Something buried for millions of years, sleeping deep inside the planet, waiting for a moment like this. The first attack ended with silence. But the silence felt wrong. It felt like a warning, a threat, a promise. Humanity survived, but they had no idea that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had just touched something it never should have touched. And Earth was no longer asleep. After the first attack ended, the world was covered in smoke and darkness. Many cities were destroyed and millions of lives were gone forever. Every surviving human felt fear in their bones. But in that terrible silence, scientists and military leaders began to study the strange underwater signal that saved Earth. No one understood what it was or how it activated. Some thought it was alien technology. Some believed it was a natural reaction. But the truth was far more mysterious. Deep in the Pacific Ocean, strange structures began to appear on scanning satellites. They were enormous, like long metal roots spreading under the ocean floor. The strange devices were awakening slowly, as if they were waiting for the attack. Submarines tried reaching the source, but many lost contact and never returned. The ocean was changing. The water temperature around the mysterious structure increased. Strange glowing waves moved underwater like veins coming alive. Meanwhile, alien fleets regrouped outside Earth's orbit. Millions of alien sensors were watching Earth, terrified of the unknown power they felt coming from the planet. The alien commanders sent messages between their ships, desperately trying to understand what woke up beneath the oceans. Something on Earth frightened them so much that they did not dare to attack again immediately. Instead, they waited for orders from their distant homeworlds. This silence gave Earth a little time, but humans knew time was not enough. Global communication was still broken, but surviving scientists worked inside underground bases trying to decode the signal. The signal pattern did not look random at all. It looked like language, ancient and complicated. It repeated the same pulse over and over, like a message. The strange part was that no human created it. It was older than every human civilization. Many scientists believed someone left this technology on Earth in ancient times. Meanwhile, survivors all over the world gathered near broken cities looking for family members. The military tried to comfort people, but everyone knew the truth. If aliens returned with full power, humanity would be completely destroyed. The government started sending emergency drones into the Pacific Ocean, but one drone sent back a video that shocked every scientist. The underwater structures looked like giant metallic bones, stretching for hundreds of kilometers, glowing with bright silver light. It did not look human. It did not look alien either. It looked something else. Something ancient. The world leaders called an emergency global meeting through whatever communication was left. For the first time, every remaining government agreed on one thing. We must understand what is under our planet before the aliens come again. But deep beneath the ocean, the mysterious structure began changing. It started sending energy lines into Earth's surface. Underground tunnels lit up. Cities near coastal areas suddenly experienced strange power surges. Lights turned on by themselves even in broken buildings. Phones with dead batteries suddenly rebooted. Cars with destroyed engines started humming again. Every machine touched by this new energy woke up. People thought it was a miracle. But scientists feared something much more serious. If the thing under Earth could power machines, that meant it could control them too. All over the world, small mechanical devices started repairing themselves. Drones rebuilt their frames. Destroyed tanks began moving again, controlled by unknown commands. Humanity was gaining weapons, but humanity was not controlling them. At the same time, the alien fleets detected the massive power buildup coming from Earth. The aliens began scanning again, but the new energy blocked their sensors. Earth was now protected by something like a shield. The alien commanders panicked. They had never seen a planet generate energy on this level. Some alien officers believed Earth was artificially created. Others believed Earth was hiding an ancient god weapon. Rumors spread through alien fleets like wildfire. Finally, one alien ship broadcasted a warning to the entire galaxy. Earth has activated the core. Do not approach. That message traveled across thousands of star systems. Alien scientific councils started debating ancient legends. Some alien civilizations remembered old warnings from ancient times, warnings passed down through generations about a sleeping world that must never be disturbed. A world that once destroyed entire galaxies. Could Earth be that world? As humanity watched the ocean glowing brighter every hour, they realized something terrifying. The structure was not reacting to human commands. It was reacting to the alien threat. It was deciding for itself. And Earth's mysterious core was not repairing human cities to save humans. It was preparing for something much bigger. Something the galaxy feared. Every surviving human began feeling a strange vibration under the ground, almost like a heartbeat. And that heartbeat belonged to the planet itself. Earth was changing. And the galaxy had only seen the beginning. The mysterious underwater structure did not stop after releasing energy through Earth. It began transmitting something into the deep space, something powerful enough to cross galaxies. Scientists could only hear fragments of strange sound waves repeating again and again, almost like a warning. No human language could decode it. Every attempt to translate the signal ended in complete confusion. The signal was not human, not alien, and not machine language. It was something older and far more advanced than anything humanity ever imagined. As Earth continued to power up, strange towers rose from the oceans, made of metallic stones that humans never saw before. These towers moved like growing roots, creating lines across oceans and continents. They were shaping Earth into something else. Humans began to worry that Earth itself was transforming. They feared that maybe Earth had its own plan. Meanwhile, the alien fleets circling outside the solar system detected the growing power and panicked. They sent messages to every alien empire far beyond human understanding. Their translations said, "Earth has awakened its core network. We must stop it before it reaches maximum capacity." But it was already too late. Earth's core began releasing stronger bursts of energy straight into the void of space. These waves hit alien communications, blocking their channels. Many alien ships suddenly lost connection to their homeworlds. Alien generals sent emergency orders to retreat, but retreat was impossible. The energy waves were like invisible walls surrounding Earth. Even the most powerful alien ships could not communicate properly. Earth was no longer defenseless. It was controlling the battlefield. At the same time, cities on Earth began repairing themselves. Buildings with broken steel started forming again, piece by piece. Roads fixed themselves. Power systems turned on without human help. It felt like the planet was healing. But humanity noticed something strange. Earth was not rebuilding everything. Only strategic military points were recovering fast. Missile silos, aircraft bases, weapon storage stations, and underground bunkers. As if Earth was preparing for a new war. In government bunkers, leaders were terrified. They wanted to shut this core system down before Earth completely changed, but they had no control. Every attempt to cut communication with the core ended with failure. Every attempt to destroy new structures ended with those machines repairing themselves again. Humanity realized Earth was acting on its own intelligence, not its human population. As days passed, survivors moved from destroyed cities into rebuilt ones where strange towers offered energy and heat. Life entered a new phase, not peaceful, but terrifyingly stable. No one celebrated survival. Everyone felt like they were living inside something they didn't understand. Meanwhile, deep space telescopes captured terrifying information. Some alien fleets started fighting each other. They were debating whether to destroy Earth completely or escape the galaxy. Many alien races believed Earth had become unstoppable. For thousands of years, aliens believed Earth was only a small biological planet. Now they discovered Earth was something they should have feared long ago. Some alien scientists sent warnings to their governments saying that Earth might have been built by an ancient species far older than any known civilization. Legends told stories about a planet weapon sleeping somewhere in the galaxy, waiting for enemies. Many alien leaders now believed Earth was that planet. Humanity felt helpless. There was no plan to escape, no plan to negotiate. They were trapped with something enormous beneath their feet. The worst part was that no one knew whether the core protected humans out of loyalty or simply followed old programming. But then something unexpected happened. Earth sent a message across space using every satellite and every alien communication channel. A simple message filled with only 2 words, repeated again and again: do not return. The message was not spoken by humans. It was spoken by Earth itself. The voice sounded mechanical, ancient, and angry. Every alien ship heard the warning. Many panicked and started moving away from Earth as fast as their engines allowed. Others decided to stay hidden but silent. The galaxy became frightened of a single planet. Earth was no longer a weak world. Earth was now something completely different. Humanity watched in silence as the message repeated across every communication frequency: do not return. The words felt like a threat, a promise of revenge, a warning to the galaxy that Earth would not forgive another attack. In cities around the world, survivors listened to that message in fear. They felt that Earth was preparing for something else, something worse than the first attack. Maybe a counter-attack. Maybe vengeance. The alien fleets finally started leaving the solar system, but before departing, many alien commanders sent final messages to their leaders saying, Earth is building something. We must prepare. The galaxy was not only afraid, but confused. No one knew what Earth was preparing. But deep under the Pacific, the core system started glowing brighter. Earth was waking up completely now. The counter-signal was only the beginning. The real war had not even started. When the first wave of alien ships finally pulled away from the solar system, humanity prayed that maybe the terror was ending. But deep inside, every person understood that the galaxy would never allow Earth to continue rising like this. Something extremely old was activating on Earth, and the more this unknown power grew, the more alien civilizations felt threatened. They were not preparing peace. They were preparing another invasion, this time with full force. That second invasion began with a silence that stretched across the black space. Earth's new sensors detected strange movements at the edge of the solar system. It was like millions of shadows moving through darkness. Human scientists tried to study sensor readings, but Earth's core system locked them out as if saying humans were not allowed to interfere. Then, sensors across the world began showing a terrifying image. Alien fleets approaching in numbers that looked impossible. The first attack looked like a storm. The second one looked like the end of creation. Entire alien armadas were gathering near Jupiter's orbit, their engines glowing red like burning suns. They did not hide anymore. They were coming openly, fully armed, prepared for destruction. The aliens believed if they delayed any longer, Earth's core would become unstoppable, so they must act immediately, even if it meant sacrificing everything. As massive alien cruisers entered the solar system, humanity started to panic again. People evacuated coastal areas fearing another attack from the skies. Governments mobilized what was left of their military forces, but their weapons were still useless compared to alien technology. Meanwhile, the core beneath the Pacific stirred like a sleeping monster finally stretching. Strange metallic towers around the world lit up with glowing lines of energy, sending beams into the sky. Entire oceans turned bright blue like liquid fire. Earth's surface shook, not from fear, but from power rising to impossible levels. Suddenly, a giant cloud of silver mist formed around Earth's orbit, expanding like a shield. The alien commanders hesitated. They studied the shield, scanned it, tested it. They found something horrifying. The shield was not energy. It was matter. Molecular matter that changed shape and density like living metal. The aliens fired gigantic plasma cannons into the shield, but the energy disappeared inside the silver mist as if swallowed by darkness. After a long silence, alien fleets fired again, this time with antimatter charges meant to destroy planets, but even those weapons vanished inside the strange shield. The alien commanders realized they could not penetrate Earth's defense. But they were already too close to retreat. Their only option was to keep firing. Finally, after repeated attacks, Earth answered. Not with human weapons, but with something older, something unimaginable. From the Pacific, a single vertical beam of white light shot into the sky. It looked thin, almost harmless, but when it touched the first alien dreadnought, the massive ship shattered into dust without noise, without explosion, without anything left behind. The alien fleets froze in shock. More beams followed. Every beam found a target, and every target disappeared from reality. In 1 minute, 500 alien ships vanished like smoke in cold wind. It was not a battle. It was extermination. The galaxy learned something terrifying at that very moment. Earth did not need armies. Earth itself was a weapon. Alien commanders screamed orders, begging their fleets to retreat, but Earth's defense system tracked every ship individually. Escape was impossible. Humanity watched through underground screens as the night sky flickered with silent bursts of disappearing ships. Some survivors cried, thinking Earth was saving them. Others cried, realizing Earth did not care about them. The core was doing what it was created for, destroying threats. After 10 minutes, the alien fleet was reduced to scattered pieces floating silently across space. Every ship destroyed. Every weapon erased. The second invasion ended faster than the first one began. Humanity did not cheer. They were terrified. They asked the question no one wanted to ask. If Earth could do this, why did it wait until humans nearly died? What limit did this ancient system follow? What rule? What purpose? And most importantly, was Earth protecting humanity, or was humanity only part of Earth's plan? The second invasion left the galaxy trembling in fear. The aliens finally understood that they awakened something impossible to defeat. Something legendary. Something that was never meant to open again. But it was too late. Earth was fully awake now, and the galaxy would never be the same again. After the second invasion was destroyed, surviving humans believed maybe the danger was finally over. But the truth was just beginning to unfold. Scientists around the world started receiving strange messages inside their systems. Old signals, encrypted in languages no human recognized. These messages came from the core itself, as if the planet wanted humanity to know something. At first, the scientists assumed it was alien code, but translation attempts revealed something shocking. The messages were not alien. They belonged to Earth. Or rather, they belonged to an ancient civilization that once lived here long before modern humans even existed. That discovery broke every law of history. According to everything humans knew, Earth evolved life slowly over millions of years, eventually leading to human beings. But the new information suggested something completely different. Earth was not simply a planet that evolved life. It was selected, modified, prepared by someone. Someone who knew there would be a future war. Someone who planned for it. Archaeologists began re-examining ancient sites, and suddenly they found impossible evidence. Deep underground ruins older than any known civilization, built with materials stronger than steel, created with technology more advanced than everything humans knew. These ruins were not human, but they were connected to Earth. The scientists realized something terrifying. Earth was once a military installation. A fortress planet designed by an ancient race older than the galaxy's oldest empires. A race that disappeared long before humans appeared. And this ancient race designed Earth with a purpose: to awaken only when the galaxy became too aggressive. The core's messages revealed fragments of history. A great war raged millions of years ago. Entire galaxies burned. Ancient civilizations were erased. Only one civilization survived long enough to create a final defense, a weapon planet hidden among normal planets, sleeping, waiting for future threats. That weapon planet was Earth. Humans were not supposed to trigger the core. It was designed to awaken only when the galaxy attacked Earth violently. And the aliens, unknowingly, did exactly that. The second invasion was not only a war, it was the key that unlocked Earth's ancient programming. Humanity was not the chosen species. Earth was the chosen weapon. Humans were only accidental inhabitants living on top of something unimaginable. Governments tried to shut down research, fearing global panic, but humanity already began talking online, sharing theories and trying to understand what Earth really was. More ruins were discovered under deserts, beneath Antarctica, hidden deep inside mountains. All of them connected to the core like nerves in a living body. Meanwhile, alien races across the galaxy realized the truth too. They sent messages to each other, warning that Earth was not a biological world, it was a prototype planet weapon. The galaxy now believed Earth was built by an ancient civilization that wanted to destroy all future threats. The message was simple: the galaxy should have never touched Earth. Humanity now stood on a terrifying truth: Earth never needed humans. But humans desperately needed Earth. The ancient system continued activating deeper layers. Hidden machines began rising from ocean trenches and volcanic tunnels. Energy levels increased every day beyond measurable limits. The more Earth activated, the more alien civilizations panicked across the universe. Many alien empires evacuated entire star systems near Earth, fearing that the weapon planet might attack without warning. Humanity watched silently, knowing they could not control their own planet anymore. And as the core revealed more history, one final message repeated through ancient digital language: you are safe only as long as Earth decides you are not a threat. After the core awakened fully, the galaxy changed forever. Alien civilizations that had once considered Earth a small, insignificant planet now trembled in fear. Every star system near the solar system sent scouts to observe Earth from a distance, but their sensors could not penetrate the planet's new defenses. The mysterious energy field around Earth blocked every attempt to scan or communicate with the planet. Alien leaders called emergency councils across the galaxy, debating what to do next. Some argued for immediate destruction, sending entire fleets to strike Earth before the core could expand further, but other factions refused, warning that any attack could trigger a response that would annihilate entire star systems. Rumors spread quickly across alien civilizations: Earth is no longer asleep. Earth has the power to destroy thousands of planets. Earth chooses who lives and who dies. Fear spread faster than any fleet could move. Within days, entire colonies near the solar system were evacuated. Trade stopped. Communication networks went silent. Every alien race became paranoid, wondering who would be first to anger Earth. On Earth, humans watched from underground bunkers and broken cities as the oceans glowed brighter each night. The core continued to activate new structures, rising from deep trenches and volcanoes, stretching towers and strange machines across continents. These machines worked automatically, repairing cities, rebuilding factories, and constructing unknown devices that humans could not identify. Many humans believed Earth was protecting them, but a quiet fear settled in their hearts. If the core could destroy alien fleets in seconds, what might it do to humanity if it considered them a threat? In the galaxy, alien leaders debated sending messages to humans, warning them to control the core, but none of them trusted humans to understand. They believed only the planet itself could be reasoned with, and reasoning with a planet was impossible. Some alien scientists studied fragments of the core's signal and realized it followed logic, strategy, and planning far beyond any biological mind. The core acted like a general, a strategist, and a judge all in one. It was not driven by emotion or instinct. Its decisions were cold, precise, and final. Entire fleets that had once threatened Earth were destroyed or retreated permanently after witnessing its power. Some alien historians began digging into ancient archives, searching for legends about a planet weapon that once punished civilizations for aggression. They discovered scrolls and records written thousands of cycles ago about a planet that had awakened to protect life, erasing threats with precision. Many realized Earth matched the description exactly, and panic spread across the galaxy. On Earth, humans continued to survive, but their understanding of the core remained minimal. They could only watch as cities repaired themselves, machines rebuilt automatically, and energy structures rose from every corner of the planet. Even satellites that survived the first attack reported that Earth was generating a magnetic shield that extended thousands of kilometers into space, protecting the planet from both natural disasters and potential attacks. The alien fleets noticed the shield and realized that any further attack would be suicidal. Many fleets simply retreated to the edges of known space, hiding from Earth's invisible reach. Some alien civilizations even chose isolation, cutting off all communication with neighboring species to avoid attracting attention. On Earth, the core began creating signals that sent messages to the galaxy, not in words humans could understand, but in energy pulses that carried warnings. Alien sensors detected the signals and spread stories of a planet that communicated in energy, a world alive and intelligent, capable of planning and executing destruction without hesitation. Governments on Earth were powerless. They could not stop the core, could not control it, and could not predict its next action. Humans realized they were no longer masters of their world. Earth had become something entirely different, something beyond human comprehension. Fear among humans grew, not just for alien attacks, but for their own survival. The core had no preference for humans. It only acted according to the rules of its ancient programming. It was a living judgment upon the galaxy, and humanity could only hope that their existence was still within the planet's calculations. In distant star systems, alien ambassadors held secret meetings, sharing information about Earth's growth in power. Some spoke in whispers, terrified that any public knowledge could provoke the planet further. Strategies were formed to avoid provoking Earth, including abandoning populated regions, leaving vital resources untouched, and retreating from trade routes that approached the solar system. Fear dominated the galaxy like a heavy fog. Even peaceful species, who had never touched Earth before, began hiding, avoiding interstellar communication, and evacuating nearby colonies. The core, however, continued its work methodically. It sent signals into deep space, it repaired the planet's surface, and it built strange new towers that stretched high into the clouds. Humans could not understand what these structures were for, but every survivor sensed a quiet, invisible power guiding the planet. One night, sensors detected a new energy wave spreading across the galaxy. It did not destroy anything, but it caused entire alien fleets to hesitate, leaving some fleets frozen in space for hours, unable to move. Alien commanders reported that Earth was observing them, calculating possibilities, predicting strategies, and preparing responses for attacks that might never even happen. Humanity realized that Earth was now the most powerful entity in the galaxy, and no one, not human or alien, could challenge it. The galaxy itself had learned a lesson. Earth was alive, intelligent, and unstoppable. Fear spread further than armies ever could. Rumors of the sleeping weapon planet circulated across civilizations that had never even seen Earth. Alien children were told stories warning them to never approach the solar system. Entire political structures shifted to avoid provoking the core. And on Earth, humans watched silently, powerless and awestruck, as the planet transformed into a guardian, a judge, and a weapon all at once. The core did not speak to humans directly, but its presence was felt in every glowing tower, every repaired city, every pulse of energy that reached into the skies. The galaxy had seen Earth fight, but now the galaxy feared what it might do next. The fear was not only of death, but of judgment, of a power beyond imagination, and of a force that could wipe out civilizations without mercy. Humanity survived, but the galaxy itself trembled. Earth had awakened fully, and nothing would ever be the same again. The galaxy had begun to understand the true power of Earth, but no one realized the full extent of what was about to happen. Alien fleets that once hovered near the solar system in arrogance were now scattered, hiding in distant star systems, whispering rumors of a planet that had awakened and could destroy everything. Humanity watched in awe and fear as strange towers rose from oceans, deserts, and mountains across Earth. The core system, now fully active, was no longer simply defending the planet. It was preparing for something greater, something that no human could command or understand. Deep beneath the Pacific, the core pulsed with energy, sending waves of power into every continent. Machines, weapons, and cities rebuilt themselves automatically, but the work was not for humans. It was for the coming vengeance. Alien fleets that had dared to invade twice were now the target. The core calculated trajectories, distances, and strategies at a speed impossible for any biological mind. Humanity realized they were not giving orders. They were simply witnesses to Earth's own judgment. Then, one night, a single beam of light shot from the Pacific into deep space. It traveled faster than any known vessel, reaching an alien command ship that had once threatened Earth. The beam struck the ship without warning, and the massive vessel vanished completely. No explosion. No debris. Nothing remained. Alien fleets scattered, trying to understand what had just happened. Every commander realized they were being hunted, but the core moved faster than any reaction. Its beams were precise, unstoppable, and invisible until it was too late. More alien ships vanished one by one as Earth targeted the invaders who had caused humanity's near extinction. The planet itself seemed to calculate who was guilty and who was innocent, ignoring civilian alien colonies and focusing solely on the fleets that attacked first. Humans could only watch the destruction in awe and horror. They realized Earth was not merciful, but it was just. Every strike was perfect, leaving no trace, eliminating only the threats, as if the planet understood war in a way no one else could. Alien leaders desperately tried to communicate, offering surrender and alliances, but Earth did not respond. It did not need words. Its actions spoke louder than any message could. Every ship that approached too close vanished. Entire fleets were reduced to nothing within minutes. The galaxy began to tremble. News of Earth's vengeance spread faster than any starship. Civilizations that had never attacked humanity now panicked, fearing that any approach to the solar system might trigger destruction. They hid, evacuated colonies, and abandoned trade routes. The core's energy waves now extended further than anyone could measure, creating an invisible network of surveillance and attack across nearby space. Machines on Earth repaired themselves constantly, creating new weapons, unknown technologies, and defenses that humans could not comprehend. The oceans glowed, volcanoes emitted strange energy pulses, and cities became radiant with light, as if the planet itself was alive and aware of every movement in space. Humans watched silently, knowing they were safe only because the core had chosen to protect them. But there was no control, no communication, and no understanding. The planet acted on its own judgment. Alien fleets tried every tactic they knew. Massive energy weapons, stealth maneuvers, and evasive patterns were all useless. Every calculation by the invaders was anticipated, every escape route blocked by the unseen hand of Earth itself. Slowly, the realization spread across the galaxy. There was no escaping Earth's vengeance once it decided. Some alien civilizations surrendered completely, leaving unarmed ships behind as offerings, hoping the planet would ignore them. Others fled to the farthest edges of known space, abandoning worlds and colonies to avoid detection. Even peaceful species that had never touched Earth began evacuating, fearing the core might judge them as potential threats in the future. Humanity observed everything, realizing they were passengers on a living, calculating, and unstoppable world. No human could claim ownership. No human could stop it. The core acted like a god, precise and cold, eliminating only those it judged guilty, sparing life when it did not consider it a threat. As the vengeance continued, alien fleets reported destruction in silence. No transmissions came back. Commanders who survived told their people that Earth was no longer a planet but a force, something that could erase entire civilizations with a thought, and that even thinking about attacking again was enough to invite death. Humanity felt both pride and terror. The planet was protecting them, but it was also reminding them that they had never been in control. Every new day, the core built more structures, more weapons, more machines, preparing for the next wave of potential threats. And somewhere deep under the Earth's crust, the original purpose of the planet whispered through energy pulses, ancient codes, and mechanical voices that humans could barely sense. Its purpose was clear: no threat to humanity would survive, no invader would ever return, and the galaxy would learn that Earth was awake, aware, and unchallengeable. The final realization for humans was simple and terrifying. They had survived, but only because Earth had judged the rest of the galaxy unworthy. Every alien species now knew that vengeance could come without warning, without mercy, and without explanation. And as the last alien fleets retreated into the dark edges of space, Earth pulsed with power, ready for whatever might come next, fully awake, fully aware, and fully in control of its own vengeance. After Earth's devastating vengeance against the alien fleets, humanity believed that they had survived the worst and that the planet would now remain a protective guardian. But the truth soon became more terrifying than anyone could imagine. The core beneath the Pacific, fully awakened and calculating every possibility, began expanding its influence across the planet in ways humans could barely comprehend. Strange towers stretched higher into the skies, glowing with energy that lit up cities even at midnight. Machines that had rebuilt themselves now constructed even stranger devices, weapons and vessels that humans could not identify or understand. Governments attempted to regain control, calling emergency meetings of surviving leaders, generals, and scientists, but every attempt to communicate with the core was blocked. Satellite transmissions, computer networks, and even underground communication systems were instantly taken over by Earth's energy field. It became clear to all humans that they no longer commanded their own planet. They had become mere witnesses to Earth's judgment and preparation. Panic spread among leaders who realized that the core was no longer defensive. Its calculations suggested it might take action against humans if it deemed them a threat, just as it had done to the aliens. Some scientists argued that they should attempt to shut down the core before it decided humanity was dangerous, while others warned that any attempt could trigger total planetary destruction. The human population, though safe, lived in a tense silence. Every heartbeat seemed measured by the core itself. Decisions that humans once thought belonged to them were now irrelevant. The planet acted independently, and the humans were powerless observers. Underground bunkers filled with leaders and military officials debated their next move. Should they try to override the core systems, risking total annihilation, or should they accept that they had no control and hope the planet continued to protect them? As these debates continued, the core began transmitting pulses into orbit, creating a web of energy that reached beyond Earth's atmosphere. These pulses interfered with alien sensors still lingering near the solar system, warning them that any return would be fatal. Humans realized that Earth was no longer just defending itself. It was making decisions about who could survive in the galaxy. Panic reached every city when the core began testing its new capabilities. Underground shelters reported strange vibrations that felt like the planet's heartbeat growing stronger. Mountains shifted slightly, oceans glowed more intensely, and energy waves traveled through the ground. People could feel the power beneath them, a living force they could not understand. Governments realized that humans might be caught in the core's judgment if Earth perceived them as a future threat. Leaders tried sending signals appealing to the planet, using words of peace, but Earth did not respond in language. Its judgment was silent, precise, and unchallengeable. Then, a council of the world's most brilliant scientists proposed a radical plan. They would attempt to interface with the core directly, not to control it, but to communicate with it. Using a combination of old technology and newly rebuilt devices powered by the core itself, they sent a probe deep into the Pacific core system. The probe did not move like a normal vehicle. It seemed absorbed by the energy of the core. Within moments, it transmitted the first direct feedback from Earth's consciousness. The message was clear and simple: all threats will be removed. The scientists were terrified. Humanity was included in the core's definition of threats. Every decision humans had made, every military action, every plan for the future was now subject to evaluation. Some argued that they should abandon Earth entirely, but the core had already extended its influence too far. Escape was impossible. Humanity was trapped on a planet that judged them as much as it judged the aliens. Leaders debated endlessly about the next move. Should they attempt to shut down the core with explosives? Should they try to send humans into deep shelters and ignore the planet's activities? Some humans argued that the only way to survive was to convince the core that humans were harmless, but no one knew how to achieve this. Even the oldest languages, mathematics, and human technology were meaningless to the ancient system beneath their feet. While humans debated, the core continued its silent work. Cities became more automated, strange new vessels rose from oceans, and energy towers extended higher into the atmosphere. Every night, glowing pulses shot into space, warning potential alien invaders and signaling that the planet had fully awakened. Then the ultimate dilemma became clear. Humans could not stop Earth, and Earth could act against them if it judged it necessary. Every person had to face the terrifying reality that their survival depended entirely on the judgment of a conscious planet older than any human civilization. The choice was no longer about weapons, governments, or alliances. It was about proving that humans were not a threat. Scientists and leaders worked frantically to understand what behaviors, actions, and decisions would satisfy the core. But no one could predict the answer. The planet's logic was ancient, precise, and unknowable. Some humans chose to hide in bunkers, refusing to act, while others tried to rebuild society in ways that might signal obedience. Children were taught to respect the energy of the planet, adults meditated on the core's actions, and all life moved cautiously under the watchful pulse beneath their feet. Meanwhile, alien civilizations still scattered in fear watched from afar, realizing that humanity's survival was entirely dependent on a planet's judgment. The core had become the ultimate authority, and humans had to accept that they were passengers on a living, calculating, and ancient force. Every heartbeat, every decision, and every step was now part of a silent negotiation with Earth itself. Humanity survived the core's judgment not through force, not through intelligence, but through patience, observation, and the realization that their only choice was to live in harmony with the planet that had become their protector, their judge, and their ultimate master. After Earth had fully awakened and unleashed its devastating vengeance against the alien fleets, the galaxy fell into a silence unlike anything it had ever known. Entire star systems near the solar system went dark as civilizations evacuated their planets and hid in the farthest reaches of known space, shutting down communication networks and fleeing from any trace of Earth's energy pulses. Trade routes that had been active for millennia ceased overnight. Ships that once carried goods, information, and travelers between stars stopped moving, abandoned in orbit or drifting silently in space. Even the most peaceful and distant alien species, who had never encountered humanity or threatened Earth in any way, began hiding their civilizations, fearing that the planet's judgment might extend to them. Reports of strange energy waves extending from Earth spread like wildfire through the galaxy. Alien scientists detected pulses of energy traveling faster than light, scanning and calculating, searching for potential threats, measuring fleets, and evaluating planets for danger. Entire councils and governments convened in secret, debating strategies to survive without attracting attention. Many concluded that the safest course was complete silence, complete withdrawal, and complete avoidance of any action that could provoke the living planet. On Earth, humanity observed these events from underground bunkers, newly rebuilt cities, and glowing towers powered by the core. The planet itself did not speak to humans directly, but every machine, every structure, and every pulse of energy conveyed its presence. Humans could feel it beneath their feet, in the shaking of the ground, the glow of the oceans, and the hum of reconstructed cities. They had survived the core's judgment, at least for now, but they knew that the planet's awareness was not limited to aliens. Any human action that might be interpreted as a threat could trigger judgment as well. The world became a tense, silent place. Governments ceased all aggressive operations, militaries were kept in check, and humans moved cautiously under the watchful pulse of the core. Even daily life became an exercise in observation, patience, and respect for the planet that had become their protector and potential judge. Meanwhile, alien civilizations watched from the edges of known space, reporting that even communication signals sent from distant star systems were being scanned, analyzed, and evaluated by the energy pulses from Earth. Any hint of aggression or suspicion was enough to trigger a defensive reaction, invisible to humans, but terrifying to distant observers. Entire fleets that attempted to regroup were either destroyed or forced to retreat permanently, and alien colonies abandoned decades of infrastructure to flee to dark corners of space. The galaxy learned quickly that Earth was no longer simply a planet. It was a force of judgment and intelligence, a living weapon capable of exacting vengeance or enforcing peace without ever leaving its orbit. Humanity realized that their survival was entirely dependent on the planet beneath them. No weapon, no fleet, and no alliance could challenge the core. The planet acted with precision, cold logic, and ancient purpose. Every pulse of energy, every rebuilt structure, every machine constructed automatically was a part of the planet's silent assertion of dominance and protection. Humans understood that the galaxy's silence was not peace. It was fear. The very fact that civilizations had stopped speaking, trading, and communicating was proof that the galaxy had learned the most important lesson. Earth was awake, aware, and unstoppable. Even legends of the first architects, the ancient civilization that had built Earth as a weapon planet, began circulating among humans. Some scholars tried to connect the core's actions to the ancient messages decoded from deep underground, understanding that Earth was continuing the work of those builders, maintaining the planet's original purpose, to protect life by removing threats. Alien historians recorded the events in secrecy, warning future generations that any contact with Earth must be approached with extreme caution. The galaxy had learned to fear even the potential for provocation. On Earth, humans lived quietly, but every day was marked by tension. Children learned to respect the hum of the planet, adults carefully observed their surroundings, and even the most routine actions were measured and deliberate. Earth continued to grow, extending its energy network further into orbit, scanning distant systems, building new towers and vessels that humans could not understand, preparing silently for any potential threat that might arise in the distant future. The core no longer needed to defend the planet actively because the galaxy itself had submitted to its presence. Every civilization, even those far from the solar system, remained silent, as if collectively holding their breath, afraid that any noise, any movement, or any decision could trigger the planet's wrath. Humanity witnessed this silence, feeling a mix of awe, terror, and helplessness. They survived only because Earth had judged them harmless for now, and they understood that their only chance of continued survival was to remain invisible in the eyes of the living planet. The galaxy, once vibrant with trade, communication, and exploration, became quiet. Even distant star systems that had never approached Earth fell into careful observation, avoiding light, energy emissions, or any trace that might reveal their location. The silence was more powerful than armies, more terrifying than weapons, and more controlling than any empire had ever been. The core, fully awakened and fully aware, had rewritten the rules of existence in the galaxy. Life continued, but no civilization dared to move freely. Every star, every fleet, and every world now existed under the quiet dominion of a planet that had become alive, intelligent, and unchallengeable. And on Earth, humanity survived in awe, understanding fully that the galaxy's silence was proof not of peace, but of fear, and that the planet beneath their feet was not only their protector, but also the ultimate judge of everything around them. The galaxy had grown silent. Alien civilizations that once dominated star systems now hid in fear, communication networks abandoned, and fleets scattered to the farthest reaches of space. Every species, even those that had never approached Earth, understood that a living, intelligent, and unstoppable force now ruled from the solar system. Humanity remained on the planet, surviving but powerless, fully aware that Earth was no longer theirs to command. Deep beneath the Pacific, the core pulsed with energy, sending waves into every continent, every ocean, and every atmosphere. The strange towers and structures rising across the planet glowed brighter than ever, some stretching into orbit, others burrowing into mountains. Machines built themselves, repaired themselves, and organized themselves into patterns humans could not decipher. It was no longer about protection. It was about preparation. The core had awakened fully and was now creating a force capable of acting anywhere in the galaxy without leaving the planet. Scientists, still alive in underground bunkers and research facilities, discovered signals emanating from the core that stretched farther than any previous energy wave. These signals were not destructive in the conventional sense, but they carried information and calculation beyond comprehension. The core was scanning the galaxy, observing every potential threat, every civilization, and every fleet, calculating probabilities and outcomes faster than any mind could process. Humanity realized, with a mixture of awe and terror, that they were witnessing the awakening of a planetary intelligence older than any known life form. The ancient messages decoded from the core revealed the final purpose of the first architects. Earth was built to judge, protect, and if necessary, destroy. It was designed to awaken only when threats to life arose, and it would act without hesitation, without mercy, and without emotion. Humans now understood the terrifying truth. The planet's vengeance against the alien fleets was only the beginning. The galaxy's silence was not peace. It was a warning, a demonstration of the core's power. Earth had become the ultimate arbiter, and all life, human or alien, existed under its watchful pulse. In the skies above, strange lights appeared as the core extended its energy network into orbit. Metallic vessels, constructed automatically by the planet itself, now orbited Earth, glowing with power that humans could not understand. These vessels did not require human control. They were extensions of the core, ready to act wherever the planet determined necessary. Across the world, humans moved carefully, realizing that even minor actions could be observed and evaluated by a consciousness far beyond comprehension. Cities functioned automatically, food and resources managed by energy systems built by the core, and humans learned to live quietly, existing without provoking the judgment of the living planet beneath them. Alien civilizations still observed from a distance. Entire fleets remained frozen in orbit of distant stars, unable to move, communicating only in whispers for fear that any signal could reach Earth. Legends of the awakened planet spread throughout the galaxy, warning every civilization that life in the solar system could not be challenged, and any aggression might result in annihilation without warning. Meanwhile, on Earth, the core continued transmitting pulses into deep space, not as a threat, but as a declaration. Every energy pulse carried a message older than time itself. Earth was awake, aware, and ready to act against anything that threatened life or its original purpose. Humanity listened to these pulses indirectly, feeling them in the oceans, in the shaking of mountains, and in the hum of every machine on the planet. Slowly, the final revelation became clear. The core had always been alive, always intelligent, and humans had only been temporary stewards, allowed to exist as long as they did not provoke the planet's judgment. The awakening had not destroyed humanity, but it had reminded them of their place in the universe. Earth was not theirs. They survived only because the planet's calculations deemed them harmless for now. Alien historians recorded everything in secret, sending encrypted archives to distant systems, warning that any future provocation could awaken the core's destructive force again. Entire galaxies took note, abandoning old territories, hiding resources, and erasing traces of civilizations near the solar system. On Earth, humans now lived in a world transformed. Cities glowed with energy, mountains shifted as energy towers expanded, and oceans shimmered with a light that reached beyond comprehension. Humans could survive and even thrive, but only as long as the planet chose to protect them. The final revelation was terrifying and humbling. The galaxy's silence was not just fear, it was the recognition of a force beyond understanding, a planetary intelligence older than civilizations, capable of exacting judgment and enforcing balance on an interstellar scale. Humanity had witnessed vengeance, survival, and now the awakening of a consciousness beyond comprehension. The core's purpose had been fulfilled in part, but its work was ongoing, calculating probabilities, preparing defenses, and watching every movement in the galaxy. No species could challenge Earth, and no intelligence could escape its observation. And as humans looked up at the skies, glowing with energy from the towers that reached into orbit, they understood the truth. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was the ultimate guardian, the ultimate judge, and the ultimate force in the galaxy. Humanity survived not because of strength, not because of technology, and not because of courage, but because the planet had deemed it so. The final revelation echoed through every mind that survived. The universe had changed forever, and Earth had awakened fully.